Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet two of the driving forces behind the Texas Jazz Cats. They're sharing the love of jazz with our community. Their incredible story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if you talk to a jazz aficionado, jazz never goes out of style. You think about the golden age of the Frank Sinatras, and then there are groups like the two people who are in my studio right now, the Texas Jazz Cats. They are keeping jazz alive and well right here in DFW. Sally Savino and Mark Hess, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks
for having us.
Absolutely. All right, tell us the origin story. How did this all come about?
Well, my friends and I just started getting together and having a little jam session, and that kind of grew and grew, and then we started performing in the house. We needed a male vocalist, and my daughter was very good friends with Mark's daughter, was over at his house, heard him sing, said, "You've got to call my mom," right? She needs a male vocalist. And so that's kind of how we started. We did our first concert at North Park Center at Christmas time. And then COVID hit.
That was in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the world stopped, right? So we were practicing all the time. We were ready to do shows, and there were no bars, there were no restaurants, there were no festivals, nothing was available. So we said, oh boy, we'll just practice then. We'll just do that. And that is fun. We do enjoy practicing. We're a group of friends that get together, and it's a great time. But you want to perform. There's a bug. And so we said, okay, well, let's just go find a cul-de-sac and set up and just do it. So we did.
Wow.
And people came out of their houses and were like, I haven't left my house in 2 weeks. What is going on? This is great. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it was very empowering to the community. And we set it up as, food drives, because there were so many people that were really hurting at that time because they weren't able to go to their regular jobs, and a lot of food insecurity. So the North Texas Food Bank is what we chose as a charity for the food drives.
Okay, we can't let you watch a show without watching them perform. So let's go ahead and roll a highlight reel.
Oh, the shark, baby, has such deep depth, and it shows them pearly white.
The Texas Jazz Cats, an energetic, highly entertaining vintage jazz band, playing standards by the likes of Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Ella Fitzgerald, and all the old favorites you know and love.
Got the answers we all wanna know. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, drive down in May. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. I love Java, sweet and hot. Once Mr. Tomorrow, I'm a coffee pot. Shoot me the pot and pour me a shot.
I love it. Okay, share with me what it's like, because we didn't see the audience. What is it like when people get up and dance? I mean, what does that feel like?
It's incredible. It really is amazing. I'll tell a quick story. A 14, 15-year-old girl came up one time and said, I really like this a lot. I recently lost my grandfather. And I was like, I'm sorry. She said, no, what I'm trying to tell you is this is great. I'm thinking of my grandfather because he always had this music playing.
Wow.
And you just, whoa, you know, that is really something. And we have people who sing along to almost every word of every song and people that get up and dance. And so there's a language, right?
Yes.
Music is a language and a communication, and you don't have to know it. You just know it.
And I think it's beautiful. I mean, I've seen so many videos about somebody in a dementia unit, and
Yes.
I can't remember what they had for breakfast, but they can sing along.
That's right.
Yeah, we've had those experiences. It's very impactful. That you could tell your story about where the nurse came up to you afterwards.
So we were doing a show at a nursing home, and front and center was a lady in a wheelchair. And when the show started, she wasn't moving at all. And then there was a finger tapping on the arm of the wheelchair. And then by the end of the show, her mouth was moving. And when we were, tearing down afterwards, the nurse came over and said, I don't know if you noticed the little lady in front. I said, yes, I did. She said, I've nursed her for 2 years and she's never moved.
Wow.
So please come back.
I just got chills.
Right?
Yeah.
Same. And I do still. I mean, I think about that a lot, right? It's a power. There's something there. And I think it's all music, but it's certainly this music. We know it's this music. Yeah. And so we want to share that with people.
You guys were sharing a story before we started taping about a grief support group that you're performing for.
Yeah, so we've been doing this for a couple of years now. We go perform for them at one of their dinner dances, and it's a grief support group for people who've lost their spouses. So when you get there, there's people coming in and they're very sad. You know, they're obviously thinking about their spouse that they lost. Some of them have lost their spouse fairly recently. But as the night gets on, it's much more young ladies and fewer men. So the ladies have all the men up and dancing before the end of the night. And then they're doing group dancing at the end of the night where they all have their arms around each other. And it's so much fun. And they love it. We love it.
With somber, right? And it ends with smiles and laughter and singing.
Wow.
And you're just like, we have to keep doing this. This is important.
Well, I want you to brag about the quality of the musicians on your team. We're going to put up the website just so you can see. There's a nice picture on the homepage. Go around and tell us who we're looking at. Actually, scroll. There we go.
Yeah. So we have two percussionists there at the top right, and they are both long-term drummers, and they're playing around on the bongos and congos, switching back and forth between the kit and those. And they both have a lot of experience in playing in different bands. Actually, the one on the far right, Ray, he won Battle of the Bands when he was in college with his college band. And Mark, the other drummer there, he has been playing drums in various different country bands, jazz bands his whole life. And then Mark Hess here is our singer. He's been singing since he was a kid. He used to sing with his mother's church group. So his mother was a musical director at church. And so Mark got a lot of opportunities to sing there. And he was also a thespian in college. So he did singing and plays in college. And took a little break, like a lot of us did, and then went back to it with the Jazz Cats. Joel, our trombone player, and he's also picked up the flute. He's a very talented musician. So he did music throughout college, high school, college, took a break also and got back into it with us. Doug, our guitar player, he's actually a classical pianist that picked up guitar, started to learn jazz. And then down at the bottom, Julie and Michael, the two horn players there at the bottom, they are both professional musicians that have been doing music their whole careers. Michael was in the Air Force Band. Julie teaches sax. She also performed, but she teaches sax in the community right now. I'm there in the center. I play string bass. I was actually playing classical until about, 8 years ago. And so jazz is fairly new to me. My father was a jazz musician, but he passed away before I ever performed with him, which is kind of sad. But we play some of his songs, so that's very nostalgic to me.
Let's go ahead and continue scrolling down the website because there's a lot of great images. How often do you guys perform?
We perform every 2 weeks, just about.
Okay. And what's it like when you know you're in the groove? I mean, every artist knows when they're on. What's that like?
It's you hear the term endorphin, and people talk about some people when they run, they get some kind of a something. I don't get that when I run, but some people do. I get it when I do music, right? When you feel the audience giving energy back, it's intoxicating. It's absolutely marvelous. And when you see happiness, right? You're like, I'm part of the reason they're happy right now. That's a cool thing.
Yeah. You end up performing for your audience. I mean, that's really the reason why we get out there and perform. They give us so much.
I saw something on there, kittens and tomcats. So
yes.
you have some props here. So tell us about this.
We have this for anybody who donates at our shows. And of course, it all benefits the North Texas Food Bank. But we have these little kitty cat ears, and
love it.
People love that. And not just women. We've got all the bartenders wearing them. A lot of the men that come in, they like to have them. And so we do pictures of our fans on our website.
Yeah.
We have koozies. And then this is just a little card that tells about the band. We put it on the tables, and it allows them to actually link up to the North Texas Food Bank and donate right there with a QR code.
And tell us about your relationship with the food bank. Why is that your cause?
So again, during COVID, when we started, it was just very impactful to donate to the food bank. And we started with like canned goods, and, people would really go to Costco and bring pallets of food to us. And we were ending up filling up the baskets there at the donation site. And finally, I think they said to us, food's wonderful. Money goes further. So we're like, oh, that kind of makes sense. So ever since then, we've just allowed people to donate cash. And last year, we presented a beautiful check to the North Texas Food Bank at the end of the year at one of our performances. They came out and accepted it. And that was
really cool.
A really nice thing. We invited some of the venues that had us throughout the year to come out and be there when they accepted that check.
You've got an event coming up, don't you?
We do. We're going to be playing at City Line DFW on Saturday.
Okay.
And that's an outdoor event. If it rains, we'll be playing in the Aloft Hotel there.
Awesome. Okay, as you look into your crystal ball on the future, because you're still a relatively young band.
That's true.
2019. Where do you see all this headed?
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about that. Right now we're looking at bigger venues. So we've kind of outgrown some of the venue space that we have. Sometimes our fans, if they don't get reservations, they don't get in, and that's kind of sad. We like to have
you
bigger
hate
venues.
to hear someone say, I would have come, but I couldn't make a reservation. The tables are all full.
Wow.
And so, that's like, ooh, you feel, ooh, okay, well, try it earlier next time or something. It's just a bad feeling, so you don't want to do that.
Another thing we've done is we've had young people come into the band, and we've kind of trained them on jazz, and that's been very exciting, and we really like doing that. And so we're continuing with that. Right now we have a sax player that will be joining us in May. One of the young people that was in the band, he was in the previous picture, Reese Robinson, has gone on to University of North Texas for vocal jazz, and he comes back and does some performances. So I think summertime we'll have him back. We've had a few young musicians come through the band, so we'd like to continue that.
And jazz is sexy, isn't it? I mean, when you
we like to think so.
Yeah. So I think of some restaurants that we go to, and you go, and all they play is the old hits.
That's right.
And I think about I guess the Great Gatsby is like really early jazz, but
that's right.
That made it really cool. So are you finding new generations of fans?
We are, and we do pick up some more contemporary artists as well in our repertoire. Like Big Bad Voodoo Daddy is one that we like to do.
And that's actually a current band, but so it's all original songs, but they sound like old songs. And we have people, there was a young man, he might have been in his 20s or maybe early 30s.
Yeah.
Who we started playing a song, and he jumped up from his table and said, "This is my favorite band, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy." And you're like, okay.
And he had his 3-year-old daughter there, and he was just dancing with her and spinning her around. It was so cute.
Well, it seems like the Beatles, it seems like every generation discovers them for the first time.
Right.
Oh my God, there was this amazing group called the Beatles.
Yeah.
It happens with jazz too.
Absolutely.
When I'm coming up in the 80s, it was the Stray Cats.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
that's right.
Yes, yeah.
That's right. Yep.
So, all right, we've got about 2 minutes left. So final thoughts. I want you to look into your cameras, and we'll start with you, Sally.
Final thoughts. Well, I hope everybody comes out to see us. We really have a good time. We love our audience, and we'd just love to see you out there.
Mark?
Yeah, it's important. I think I hope we've shared that today. It's important to us. We like to share with the community. This is a wonderful American art form. I guarantee if you come out, you'll have fun. Guarantee it. And the reason we do it too is because we help the community through the food bank. So you come out, put some money in the tip jar, and that money goes to the food bank. Any venue that pays us anything, that goes to the food bank. And so it's sort of you have fun and you do a good thing. So.
Wow. Amazing way to end the show. We'll also leave you with the website, which is texasjazzcats.com. Sally Savino and Mark Hess, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us,
Yes,
Jeff.
thanks for having us. Loved it.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.